Hey guys, Everseen here. It's been a minute since we've sat down and talked about some PoE2, but today I'm sort of doing like a follow-up on my last Ritual video from 0.1. There's a lot of things that have changed, and just basically Ritual is super worth farming now. It's probably the most profitable thing you could do in trade that I could think of. I mean, I play HCSSF, so I don't care about trade, but it's been extremely profitable for me because more Omens equals more crafting for me, especially the high-end crafting, so that's sort of what I'm focusing on. And today's video is just going to be about how to get more tribute with Ritual, how to like juice your Ritual maps, what stats to look for on maps, what Atlas passives to use, all that good stuff. And I just want to show you guys how you can get more tributes that if you do end up with, you know, like the really expensive Omens, you're able to defer them. So I've found like over 10 whittlings already. I've used a bunch. I used a bunch on my gear. These two pieces, this one I whittled life regen into crit chance and then corrupted it. Got like I've made insane gear for SSF, and yeah, we're gonna pretty much go over all the stuff that sort of ties in my character and all that. I've been playing a blood mage. I'm level 94 in HCSSF this league, and yeah, I've just been blasting, having a lot of fun. Just, you know, unlocking all the different aspects that I never really had access to with the Omens, because basically the drop rates got giga buffed and you see an Omen, at least one Omen in every single Ritual window now. So anyway, enough talk about that. Let's jump into the tower changes. So now towers are not single and they don't only support one tablet. Now they actually support 3 tablets, but they also have an underlying feature that's really cool, where if you see right here, it says 17% more maps affected by tablets. Now this is because I ran a 6-mod tier 1 map to unlock all of the slots of the tower, but since I did such a low tier Waystone, I'm actually not getting as many maps affected by the mechanics and the tablets that I put in as I could with a T15 map. So obviously playing hardcore, I did a lot of T1 towers and stuff, but this is like my first like T15 ones, where I did 6 mod T15s, and I have 99% more maps affected by tablets. Honestly, I'd really like to do T16s because it goes even higher. But yeah, so I've had a lot of, basically all of these maps here that I've completed had all 4 mechanics or all 5 with a boss, or you know what? So like, it's really, really good for stacking mechanics now with the tower changes. So why is this important? So one thing that's really important about when you're farming Ritual is that you want pack size. So pack size is really, really important. And then what else benefits from pack size? I mean, basically every single mechanic in the game, but Expedition greatly benefits from pack size. And farming Expedition is really important to use the Recombinator, because the Recombinator is basically how I've made every single piece of gear on my character. Some of it's been lucky, but most of it has just been Recombinator. Like this helmet, I started out with the flat energy shield and the percentage, and I recom them together. The body armor, I started with percentage evasion energy shield and recombinated life, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. So when you are doing your towers, you basically have 3 slots per tower, right? So if you do one in like, say, a triple range is what you ideally want to do. You know, examples of what you could do is you could put 1 Ritual tablet, and then you could put 1 irradiated tablet, which will give you pack size. So I have a bunch here that have pack size on them, and then I have some Expedition ones here for more magic monsters, because more magic monsters is just going to mean more magic monsters in your Rituals. And you could do rare monsters and try and get more rare monsters in your Rituals as well. And then you could also do things that's cool with these ones. So I actually just dropped this one today, so it's kind of nice. I can show it for the video, just like in my inventory. I'm going to use this soon, and I want to use both of these together. Basically, the Visions of Paradise one makes it so that when you complete an irradiated map in range, it just removes the irradiate status. So basically, you would complete this map, it would take away this irradiated status, and then you could do the map again. So this is really strong with, you know, another unique tablet like this one, where, you know, favors at ritual altars and area cost 10% increased tribute, but you can reroll twice as many times. So this is how you can really fish for these rare Omens, or for the King in the Mist invitations, right? So these two, that's what I would recommend for the strategy. And then that only occupies 1 tower, right? And then the other tower, you can do Ritual, Expedition, and then an irradiated tablet. And then this other one, you could do the same thing, or you could switch it up and you could put Breach, you could put Delirium or whatever have you, right? So that's kind of towers in a nutshell and how I've been using those. And basically that whole Delirium double tower was me just trying to farm a bit more Delirium. And yeah, I was able to do tons of good ritual maps, over 5,000 tribute to even 9,000 some maps. But yeah, we'll get into that in a second. So the next thing that I want to talk about is actually using the omens on maps to get good maps to run. So here's some examples of some decent maps that I've crafted. They have full prefixes and basically has magic pack size, regular pack size. This one has pack size, number of monster packs, and magic pack size. So this one's really good. And then this one has just rarity, rare monsters, nothing really special on this one. But it has the 3 prefixes. Now that's a theme that's going to be common because this Omen of Sinistral Alchemy, which is extremely common and cheap in rituals, anytime you use an Orb of Alchemy, it will give you maximum prefixes on a map. So if we use this right now, this will give us 3 prefixes. So we got number of monster packs, increased experience gain, and additional shrine. Not the greatest outcome. Definitely not what we wanted, right? So screw that map. You can just go again and use more omens. And if you're on trade, this is even easier for you, right? But like for SSF, this is what I've been doing, especially in hardcore because it makes my maps less lethal. Yeah, so another example is I'm using Omen of Sinistral Coronation. So if I get a Waystone like this one that has 32% increased pack size and then a suffix, well, if I regal it, it could get a dangerous suffix, and I don't really want that, so I would use the Omen of Sinistral Coronation, use the regal, which will guarantee a prefix, and I get number of monster packs, which is insanely good. We want that for ritual. You want as many packs as you can, pack size, magic or rare monsters kind of thing. And then to finish it off, we have 2 prefixes. We can use an Omen of Sinistral Exaltation. I really save these ones for like really good maps that I find. Like this one here was like 47% increased pack size. Actually, I'll hit this one with it. I was going to do this one, but I didn't realize that this one only has 2 prefixes. So this is like one of the really good maps that I'm going to run. But yeah, we'll use that. We got gold. It's fine. It happens, right? So yeah, anyway, this is like still a good map to run. And here's some other examples of like maps that you could craft. Like this one has magic monsters. This one has number of monster packs. This one has area contains 11 additional packs of plague monsters. These can actually go inside a ritual, so it's really good to have that modifier as well. So if you end up with that, it's really not the worst thing in the world. And then here are like the really good maps that I was talking about. So like this one, I actually anointed these, so they have 24% increased pack size implicit because I'm using these guilt emotions from Delirium. So here's another one. I've got this one dropped with some on it, so that's why there's another one on it, or it would have 24% instead of 16. But this one has, you know, magic monsters, rare monsters, the gold, whatever. Like these aren't like really, like this one's not really good or anything. Like a really good one is like pack size, magic pack size, and magic monsters is like probably the best one because, you know, rare is okay, but like magic, like it's much easier to get monsters in a ritual, like because most of them are normal, right, to roll as magic, which will then just give you a lot more tribute than say one monster rolls rare out of like, you know, 100 or something, right? Instead you could hit like 60 monsters go magic instead, right? So that's kind of like where I'm at with how you're like wanting to juice with that. But yeah, basically you just right click the thing, you put this in. This is actually a pretty good map. It's got increased magic pack size and then also pack size and rarity, so that's like pretty good map. And I would just do 3 of these and then you get 24% increased pack size, and then this is a good map to run. So you don't need them crazy, like you don't need 6 mods and stuff. You really just need the prefixes, right? Like you don't need to make them so dangerous because we don't really care about waystone drop chance. We've, you know, got tons of waystones. I've got over 100 now, T15, so you know, just farm away, get the Sinistral Alchemies, and just bang your maps with them, or you can just buy them from the currency exchange, right? That's all I want to talk about mapping. Now let's talk about the Atlas tree. So one thing that you want to do is you want to take basically everything for like increased effect of precursor tablets, the double chance, and then you want to take all these increased effect of explicit modifiers on your waystones. So this is just going to make all of these prefixes really like punch out and give you so much more scaling. Yeah, like some of these maps I'm getting like 120% increased pack size off of like a 40% pack size rolled map, right? So like it gets pretty hectic if you have like too many suffixes though. Like this would turn into like 500% increased crit chance and like 80 multi or something like that. So yeah, if you have maps with like a lot of suffixes, maybe it's not the best way to do it, but increased effective explicit modifiers is probably the best thing to go for, because it scales the pack size, it scales the quant, the rarity, everything on your maps, right? And now with the loot buffs, it's pretty much like you can do this again and it's worth it. Another thing too is like increased number of monster packs. You always want like all the rare monsters, right? Increased pack size. These nodes are extremely important. So just to note, that's 6. This is 12. This is 15, 18, 21, and then you have another 9 here. So you have a guaranteed 30% increased pack size no matter what every time you start a map. So it gets pretty crazy. Like the pack size gets nuts. You can definitely scale it like crazy, especially with all these increased explicit modifiers. And then I also got increased explicit modifiers in your Waystones for each precursor tablet affecting map area. And then I'm also taking unstable energies because it will give you more effective prefix modifiers or more effective suffix modifiers. Since I'm running maps that are really like 4 mod with full prefixes, this is like really nice if you hit it, right? So like say you have like rarity on a map too, and you hit 25% more effect on like 100 rarity, you're getting like 25% more rarity, right? And then it scales with all this increased effect of explicit modifiers, and you get the point. So this is also really nice. For each explicit modifier in your Waystones, you get 2% increased effect. So yeah, you could run 6 mods if they're good enough and your build's good enough. But yeah, I've just been running 4 mods, so I'm getting 8% increased explicit modifiers, which helps a lot, right? So, you know, just to recap, you're basically wanting, you know, precursor tablets, you're wanting increased explicits, all the pack size, all the more monster packs, and we can fit basically all of the nodes that we need. The only ones that we would really want are like, say, these increased explicit and maybe these quant nodes too. But yeah, pretty good. All right, guys, so for your ritual points, I basically in order, I mean, it's obviously way easier to farm omens when you have 8 out of 8 points and just the invites and everything with ritual. But in order, basically you want to go for tempting offers first, because this is going to give you those additional chances to see the king invite. I was pretty much just not deferring anything while I was doing my first maps and just refreshing, and just hoping to see a king and then defer it and then keep going. And then for my next points, I tried From the Mists and it was okay for tribute, but I ultimately went for the 4 rituals, because getting 4 rituals just means you're going to get an extra pocket of tribute regardless. And then, yeah, my 3rd and 4th points, I went for the Omens and then He Who Approaches, just because they're super good. I think maybe even my 3rd points I went for From the Mists because I didn't really care about Omens, since Omens, there's always 1 guaranteed Omen per ritual window now, so it makes it a lot easier to find those like widows and stuff. But yeah, for your 4th points, like He Who Approaches, and this one, like more Omens, more King invites, works really good. They buffed the Audience with the King invitation drop chance in ritual windows. So when you actually have like 30% increased chance, it actually matters and does something now. And then the other 2 lines where you have revived monsters can be magic and rare, 20% chance is really good too, because if the monsters get upgraded, then they just are worth more tribute. So yeah, this setup right here is pretty much the setup that I use like 90% of the time. Basically, what you want to do is you want to hunt and defer items with this setup. So you want to hunt for omens, hunt for king invites, defer them, and then say if you get into a situation though where you have too many things deferred and you're not actually taking anything out, you can get in a situation where you might actually lose the items, right? So this is my other setup that I do. So basically I refund these entire 4 points and I go over into this side. So, you know, this side is actually insane for getting tribute. One thing is like From the Mist gives you 2 additional packs on every single altar. So already you're getting 2 additional packs with crazy pack size. You're going to get tons of tribute that way. But Reinvigorated Sacrifices is actually the most broken thing about this setup. Revived monsters from rituals in your maps have 20% increased toughness. And if you hover over this by holding Alt, it'll tell you that a monster with 100% increased toughness takes 50% less damage. Well, if they're only getting 20, then it's 10% less damage because it's a fifth, and 10% increased damage for each time they've been revived. Yes, this can get kind of hectic because in the last ritual, all the monsters pretty much in Ritual 1, 2, and 3 are going to have like 40% increased damage. But if you have a good build, this shouldn't matter that much. Yeah, I'm playing like a Lightning Spear Blood Mage, so, you know, I don't do this every map either. I might do this on one map, but I'll make sure that the map that I do maybe even has like 6 prefixes, because if you val maps, you can sometimes hit 6 prefixes. I'll do ones with only 1 suffix, and you try and, you know, minimize your risk. Like, I'm not going in with like a 25% elemental penetration map doing this because it's ultimately going to kill you. This does make the monsters harder to kill, so just be aware of that. And then the last line is revived monsters from rituals in your maps have no penalty to tribute granted. So I'm actually going to tab over to my desktop, and we're going to talk about how that actually performs. So let's just draw, like, this is going to be Ritual 1, this is going to be Ritual 2, it's going to be Ritual 3, and this is going to be Ritual 4. So if we are, sorry, writing's terrible, but if we have one ritual here, we've done this ritual, right? We're going to get like the full amount from the ritual when we kill all of the monsters. But when we hit Ritual 2, basically there's going to be the original monsters from Ritual 2, and then there's also going to be Ritual 1 monsters. So all of these monsters go over here, but they're discounted price. So I'll just put this down here. We'll say a full closed circle is full tribute. I'm just going to put dry, and then, geez, it is hard to write with a mouse. Discounted. Yeah, so if it's discounted here, then we'll say, okay, we're doing another one here, and then we're getting 2 discounted packs of monsters from the other rituals, and so on and so forth. You know how it works. So Ritual 4, we're going to get that, and then we're going to have 3 discounted packs. Now, what Reinvigorated Sacrifices does is it basically takes all these original monsters, and when they go over here, they still count as original monsters. So you're getting all the tribute. So you're basically quadrupling the amount of tribute that you get from this first pocket of ritual monsters, right? And so, as you can see, like, now we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional altars, basically, of ritual tribute. So, you know, you're going to get crazy amounts of tribute by using this setup. And I would do it so that you can actually, like, clear out an inventory. Like, if you have, like, 2 or 3 invites or a couple whittlings, like I had a situation where that happened. I switched my setup, went over to, like, a different towered map, whatever, with better... Like, the cool thing about Ritual 2 is it's, like, map per map. So if you have, like, towers all around and you don't want to affect your main setup, you can actually leave that and go to another setup. Like, one you could have just for hunting omens, and then one you could have, like, increased tribute, whatever, and you can, like, benefit from all of this. Like, you can just change your setups is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, basically, you know, Ritual 1 gets carried over 1, 2, 3, 4 times at full power, and then Ritual 2 gets carried over 1, 2, 3 times at full power, Ritual 3 twice at full power, and Ritual 4 is just full power for everything. So you can see how you get, like, a ton of tribute. Now, I don't know, like, the whole penalty to tribute granted, it's not really noted anywhere in the game, so I've just figured I would actually, like, explain how that works. But yeah, this is your hunting side, and this is your clearing side. So, yep, that's about it. All right, so another thing that we should talk about is the Omens and their drop item levels. So why I'm saying to use irradiated tablets is because you want the maps to be irradiated in the area. As you can see, this Omen of Dextral Erasure is a drop level 80. So if you're doing T15s, which are level 79, you're never going to see this Omen unless it is a level 80 zone, right? So there's a couple others like that. I think this this annulment one, maybe even this annulment one too. Level 80, this one's level 80. So there's a bunch of really high tier omens that are only a T16 drop requirement, right? But there are other ways to elevate the map to level 80. So one was to use irradiated tablets, which honestly is pretty easy in itself. If you just use one tablet, like most of your ritual maps are going to be level 80. Another way, though, is to actually use the boss atlas points. So if you get to 8 points, you can get non-irradiated areas with map bosses have +1 to level. So what does that mean? It means that if there is a boss on your map, it'll show it on the atlas as level 79. Like, it won't show an irradiated symbol. I mean, at least mine's maybe bugged or something, but when you actually get into the map, if there is a map boss present in the map, it will be a level 80 zone. So this is another way to just, like, say if you used an irradiated tablet and it didn't hit the one with the boss, well, if there's a boss in there, it's an automatic level 80 zone. So this node is, like, really, really good for doing that and to, like, make sure you're able to chase these omens. Alright guys, I think that's enough rambling. I've found, I have 2 Willings in my stash. I've got a ton of different omens. I haven't found any of the, like, really rare ones yet, like the annulment ones or, like, only chaos at prefix or suffix. They're just really rare, so I don't know. I mean, Ritual doesn't scale with rarity on a map. Like, the window is just what the window is. The only thing that's going to give you better chances is seeing more omens, refreshing more. So that's why I'm kind of talking about using this unique tablet, because you can just have more and more chances to find omens. They're also, like, item level gated, so I haven't really been doing any really high level maps like T16s or anything like that. I'm just kind of farming out T15s. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Hopefully you guys learned, like, a few things, and yeah, happy hunting. I know finding a really good omen and then not being able to defer it is pretty heartbreaking, so yeah. I found one last league, which was even more rare, and I never even was able to get it, so that kind of inspired me to get better at Ritual and make sure that I was actually, like, coming out with a decent amount of tribute on every map. So yeah, guys, anyway, enjoy. Later.